The rain pounded against the stained-glass windows of St. Mary's Church like angry fists, mirroring the storm raging inside me. I stood at the back of the crowded pews, my 5-year-old daughter Lily clutching my hand so tightly her knuckles turned white. My father's casket loomed at the front, a somber reminder of the man who'd taught me everything about love, loss, and standing tall. But as the eulogies began, whispers slithered through the air like venomous snakes, whispers about her. My ex-wife, Elena, the woman who'd shattered our family and now, somehow, was turning mine against me on the darkest day of my life. If you've ever felt the sting of betrayal from those you thought would always have your back, stick around, this story will hit you right in the heart. And if it does, hit that like button and subscribe for more real-life tales that remind us we're not alone in this messy world. My name is Alex Thompson, a single dad scraping by in a small town in upstate New York. I'd always been the reliable one, the son who dropped everything to help Dad with his hardware store after Mom passed away 10 years ago. Dad was my rock, gruff on the outside, but with a heart that could melt steel. He raised me and my 2 siblings, Sarah and Mike, on stories of resilience, family first, and never letting the world break you. When Elena left me 3 years ago, taking half my savings and leaving me with full custody of Lily, Dad was the one who picked up the pieces. "She's your blood, Alex," he'd say, ruffling Lily's hair. And blood sticks thicker than any divorce decree. But now, here we were at his funeral, and the air was thick with judgment. It started subtly. As the priest droned on about eternal peace, I caught Sarah shooting me a glare from across the aisle. She was my older sister, the one who'd always played the role of family mediator, but today her eyes were daggers. Mike, my younger brother, avoided my gaze entirely, fiddling with his tie like it was a noose. And Aunt Clara, Dad's sister, who never minced words, leaned over to Uncle Jim and muttered loud enough for half the row to hear, "Can't believe he let that woman show her face here." That woman. Elena. She'd arrived uninvited, slipping into a back pew like a ghost from my nightmares. We hadn't spoken in months, not since the last custody hearing where she'd tried to paint me as an unfit parent, all because I'd refused to let her waltz back into Lily's life after abandoning us for her new beginning with some guy in the city. But Dad, in his infinite wisdom or perhaps his failing health, had reached out to her in his final weeks. "Forgiveness heals, son," he'd wheezed from his hospital bed. "Don't let hate poison you like it did me and your mom." I didn't hate Elena, not anymore. I'd moved on, focusing on Lily's giggles and bedtime stories, on rebuilding my life as a graphic designer working from home. But seeing her here, mascara-streaked tears on her cheeks, pretending she cared about the man she'd barely known, it boiled my blood. And worse, my family seemed to buy it. As the service ended and we filed out to the graveside, Sarah pulled me aside under a dripping umbrella. "Alex, what the hell? Elena says you threatened her, kept her from seeing Lily. Dad would be ashamed." Her words hit like a slap. "Threatened? Sarah, she left us. She chose her affair over our family." I hissed, glancing at Lily playing with a flower petal nearby, oblivious to the tension. Sarah crossed her arms, rain matting her hair. "She told us everything, how you changed the locks, blocked her number. And now, at Dad's funeral? You're acting like she's the enemy. Grow up, Alex. Family means including everyone, even if it's hard." I stood there, stunned, as she walked away. Mike joined her, not even bothering to defend me. The graveside ceremony blurred into a haze of hymns and lowered casket. Lily tugged at my sleeve. "Daddy, why is everyone mad?" Her innocent eyes pierced me. "How do you explain betrayal to a child?" As the crowd dispersed, Elena approached, her heels sinking into the mud. "Alex, I didn't come to cause trouble. Your dad invited me. He wanted peace." "Peace?" I scoffed, shielding Lily behind me. "You destroyed our peace when you walked out. And now you're turning my family against me? What lies did you spin this time?" She looked genuinely hurt, or was it an act? I told them the truth. That I regret leaving, that I've been in therapy, trying to make amends. But you won't let me near Lily. They think you're being vindictive. Vindictive? Me? The guy who'd worked 2 jobs to pay for her shopping sprees, who'd forgiven her first affair because we all make mistakes? But before I could respond, Aunt Clara barreled over, enveloping Elena in a hug. Oh, honey, ignore him. We're glad you're here. Harold always said you were like a daughter. Like a daughter? Dad had tolerated Elena at best, calling her flighty behind closed doors. But grief twists memories, I suppose. The ride home was silent, Lily dozing in her car seat while I gripped the wheel, tears blurring the road. How had it come to this? My own blood, siding with the woman who'd broken me, on the day we buried our patriarch. That night, alone in our modest 2-bedroom apartment, I poured a glass of whiskey, Dad's favorite, and scrolled through old photos. There was one of us at Lily's first birthday, Elena beaming as if she'd never leave. Another of Dad teaching Lily to fish, his laugh lines deep. The pain gnawed at me. I texted Sarah, we need to talk. This isn't right. Her reply came swift, what's not right is you isolating Elena. Dad forgave her. Why can't you? Isolating? Elena had vanished for 6 months after the divorce, only resurfacing when her new life fizzled. I'd protected Lily from the chaos, yes, but isolation? No. The next day, I called Mike, hoping for an ally. Bro, come on. You know Elena's story is twisted. Mike sighed over the phone. She showed us emails, Alex. You telling her to stay away or you'd call the cops. And at the funeral? You glared at her the whole time. Sarah's right, Dad wanted unity. Emails? I'd sent those in anger, sure, after she'd shown up drunk at Lily's preschool. But context mattered. Frustration bubbled into rage. My family, the people who'd witnessed Elena's infidelity, her abandonment, were now her cheerleaders. It felt like a conspiracy, like I'd woken up in an alternate reality. The challenges mounted over the following weeks. First, the will reading. Dad's lawyer gathered us in his stuffy office, the air heavy with anticipation. Dad had left the hardware store to all 3 of us siblings equally, a legacy to keep alive. But as the lawyer read on, a clause jumped out, to Elena Ramirez, I bequeath $10,000, in hopes it aids her path to redemption. Gasps filled the room. Sarah nodded approvingly. See? Dad believed in second chances. I exploded. Second chances? She cheated, left, and now profits from his death? This is insane. Uncle Jim patted my back awkwardly. Calm down, son. Your dad was wise. Maybe it's time you let go. Let go? Easier said than done. Lily started asking questions. Why doesn't Aunt Sarah come over anymore? Sarah had stopped her weekly visits, citing tension. Mike canceled our fishing trip, saying he needed space. Even the extended family whispered at gatherings I wasn't invited to. I felt like a pariah in my own bloodline. Work suffered too. As a freelance designer, I relied on focus, but sleepless nights replaying the funeral eroded my creativity. Clients complained about delays, and bills piled up. Lily sensed it all, her drawings shifting from sunny skies to stormy clouds. Daddy sad, she'd ask, crawling into my lap. One evening, rock bottom hit. Elena texted, can we meet? For Lily's sake. Against my better judgment, I agreed to a neutral coffee shop. She arrived looking polished, remorse in her eyes. Alex, I messed up. I know that. But your family, they're reaching out to me. They want me involved. Involved? You mean meddling? I leaned forward. Why now, Elena? After everything? She stirred her coffee, voice soft. Your dad's death woke me up. I lost my own father young, remember? I don't want Lily to grow up without a mom. The words stung because they echoed my fears. Lily deserved a mother, but not one who'd vanish again. You had your chance, I said, but my resolve cracked. As we talked, layers peeled back. Elena admitted her affair stemmed from postpartum depression she'd hidden, feeling trapped in our small-town life. I ran because I was scared, Alex. But therapy's helping. I want a co-parent. Skeptical, I demanded proof, therapy records, stability. She provided them. Slowly, doubt crept in. Had I been too rigid? Dad's words haunted me, forgiveness heals. The turning point came at Lily's school play. She was a flower in the spring recital, beaming on stage. Sarah and Mike showed up unannounced, sitting with Elena. Afterward, as Lily hugged them, Sarah pulled me aside. We miss you, Alex. But Elena's trying. For Dad's sake, let's talk. We did, over family dinner at Dad's old house, now ours to manage. Tears flowed. Sarah confessed Elena had shared vulnerabilities they'd never heard from me. You shut us out after the divorce, she said. We didn't know how bad it was. Mike nodded. We thought you were okay. Elena filled in the blanks, wrongly, maybe. But Dad's will, it made us think. I opened up then, raw and unfiltered, the nights alone with a crying infant, the financial ruin, the fear of failing Lily. Elena listened, apologizing sincerely. I was wrong to poison the well, she admitted. Grief made me desperate. Resolutions didn't come overnight. We started family therapy, bridging gaps. Elena earned supervised visits with Lily, proving her commitment. The hardware store became our neutral ground, Sarah managing books, Mike handling stock, me designing ads. We honored Dad by keeping it alive, infusing it with new life. Months later, at a family barbecue, laughter echoed where tension once reigned. Lily chased fireflies with her cousins, Elena chatting amicably with Sarah. I watched, heart full. Challenges had forged us stronger. If this story touched you, the raw ache of betrayal, the slow burn of healing, remember, family isn't about perfection, it's about choosing love over grudges. Hit that like button if it resonated, and subscribe for more stories that inspire resilience. Life's storms pass, leaving rainbows if we let them. Thanks for watching, see you in the next one.